Hi y'all, I'm Amber and today I'm going to be doing a book review. Typically I do my reviews through roundups, whether it's a weekly roundup or a monthly roundup, but I have changed things up again and I apologize for the whiplash, but it's just things that I've been struggling with lately. I liked doing weekly roundups, but I feel like because I'm going so slow in my reading that it's not even really worth doing them all the time. So I thought it would be better just to wait until I finish a book and then do a review on it if I feel like it. And at the end of the month, I'll just do a monthly roundup just to kind of go over what I've read and maybe some statistics. We shall see about that. But today is a book review, so let's just get on with it. The book that I'll be reviewing is The Golem and the Jinni by Helene Wrecker. This is about Shava, who is the golem. A golem is a creature made out of clay, specifically made to be the servant of its master. And in a series of unfortunate events, she ends up alone in New York, but she's taken in by a rabbi who knows what she really is, and he starts to teach her how to survive. Then you have Ahmad, who is the genie, who for thousands of years has been trapped in a oil lamp tin can, I think, and a tinsman named Arbely accidentally releases him from his prison. He has no recollection of how he ended up trapped in a human form and in a tin can. And Ahmad and Shava end up meeting one night, and they begin a friendship. In the end, they have to stop a evil that is coming their way to destroy them. The thing about this book is that there was never a point where I felt 100% sure that I didn't like this book. And there was never a point where I was sure that I really liked this book. It was almost a very neutral thing. So in trying to go through my thoughts about this book, it definitely was hard for me to kind of pinpoint where it was going wrong for me. And so I read some reviews, and there was a lot of things that people were saying that resonated with me. So some of this is definitely coming from other people's reviews, and I'm giving credit to them. Thank you for helping me out and figuring out where I stood, because I really just did not know. I liked Wrecker's writing to a point. Like, she has potential, and I think that with work and development, it could definitely help with building her stories. But with this book, it was a bit too straightforward. It was kind of bland. I was expecting, especially with this kind of story, for there to be really beautiful writing, to be a little bit more lyrical, a bit more flowery. I know some people don't like flowery writing, but I think with this kind, there needs to be poetry. There just needs to be something a little bit more. And like I said, it did come off too straightforward for me. This book is definitely tedious to get through, especially because there's a lot of mundane things happening. She'll go into some details that I think could be almost considered TMI, and at the same time, she kind of splashes some exciting and interesting things alongside. It definitely kept me interested in the story much longer than I normally would have been interested. The thing that definitely kind of dragged for me was the realizations that Shava especially went through, because for the most part she was just sitting there and then kind of thinking, and she would just come to these realizations through observations, but there was never any realizations through experience, which would have made this a more interesting read for me. If she had used the story to bring her to these realizations instead of the way she had her just kind of sitting and observing, it would have made the realizations that more exciting for me. The other issue was the fact that it had this predictable romance between Shava and Jinni, and I was not really expecting that, and I was disappointed in that also. It was just so predictable, especially with the way it was, and I really didn't like it. It just bothered me very much. I'm not going to talk about it because that might be a spoiler, and I don't really want to talk about the dynamics of their relationship because of that. but I really just didn't appreciate the romance. I was expecting a little bit more exciting drama with what was going on with the evil that was coming, and I didn't really feel that at all. The thing about this book is that it's slightly entertaining, but it's pretty much a mundane story, and just with the way she wrote it, it just kind of added to my neutral feeling in the end. And there's the issues of it. I think there's potential for Helene Wrecker to come back with another book and hopefully to be better. It's just that I see potential. It didn't come off for me through this book. The other thing is that I did definitely feel disconnected with both Shava and the Jinni. They were both annoying and at times and frustrating to read their parts, but they both had very interesting things going on, and the dynamics of the relationship, if it hadn't been a romance, would have definitely kept me intrigued all the way to the end. So I did end up giving it 3 stars. It's more like a 2.5 stars for me, but it was entertaining, and that's why I gave it 3 stars. It was entertaining to a certain point. Tell me down below if you've read this book, if you liked it or didn't. Did you have the same issues of neutrality in the way that I did? I would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you all so much for watching, and keep smiling.